Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to catch up on a couple of items here today with respect to public safety in general on our transit system and right here at sort of the ABQ uptown area. Also, of course, we're talking about the area that obviously includes ABQ uptown, but also Winrock and also Coronado and the surrounding area. Now, I'm just going to begin with a little bit of an overview. We know that retail crime has been a big challenge in this area and all over the city. We know especially this is still a big issue that I'm in communication with Walgreens about and CVS, and there's broader efforts trying to work with them on how they handle keeping their own businesses secure, whether it's through security or whether it's through alcohol sales and so forth. But as we narrow down a little bit to what we're focused on here today, we also know that retail theft is up all over the country. And we've had our challenges here with it. I remember actually it was just shortly before the pandemic when former Attorney General Hector Balderas and I said that we've got to have changes in our state laws around how we deal with retail crime. And then the pandemic hit, and then all sorts of things happened. But lo and behold, last year, another push for those same changes that actually passed in our legislative session. Now, why are we mentioning this now? July 1, that law takes into effect. This is a great thing for all of these businesses, everyone who frequents our businesses, and in general, safety at retail establishments in our community and in New Mexico. So that law is going to take into effect, and of course, it'll be, then we can use it for prosecution and for arrests and so forth. So we're going to catch you up today on what we've been doing up until that point, and also foreshadow what we're going to be doing now that that law is into effect. So, first, we know that we are not in any way going to follow through on the theft, robbery, and crimes that are happening to make us feel unsafe. We are going to follow through on those. And we are going to make sure that we use all the tools that are available, from technology to the new laws to also boots on the ground. So with respect to some of this, right here in Uptown, we've added 7 cameras on various street corners that also come in from the freeway. We also have added 2 at our Uptown Transit Center, which is right on the other side of Total Wine. And we also know that we're getting 6 APS cameras that will go outward from their building, which again is sort of right over there. So we are putting folks on notice, a little bit like we've done downtown, that there is going to be more and more eyes on these streets. And that means that we will be able to catch you when you try and rob folks in these stores and walk out with merchandise. Now, we've also been working with, it's called Operation Sticky Fingers. Kohl's has been one of our partners on this. We're going to hear a little bit about how that is actually showing some real progress. When we do have a business who will work with us, it is vastly different, the results that we see. And so it's also an invitation to these businesses who are frustrated. Please work with us. We know it's one thing to share that frustration, to feel that pain, but to actually do something about it, it does take 2 of us. We cannot do this by ourselves. We have to have the business owners in step with the APD. Now, we also know in this area is one of our transit hubs. And we're also well aware of the challenges we've had on our buses, the connection between these 2 issues, using buses for retail theft getaway, but also the challenges we have on our buses, both perception and real. There's a lot of perception challenges, but also look, our buses, we know, unfortunately, there are individuals on those buses. I rode the buses last week. I do every at least 6 weeks or so. And I know what everyone else sees. You feel scared on buses. You might have challenges that are discomforting around behavioral health issues and around people who are inebriated or under the influence of drugs. And yes, sometimes there's also violence on our buses. We know this. But here again, we are going to be doing something about it. So City Council helped us with this. We're going to be adding 20 security positions on buses. Now, we have to staff this. We have to hire it. We're going to talk about that. But I want to let you know, going forward, we are going to have staffed security on our buses throughout the city of Albuquerque. We're looking at about 25 positions to be spread out through our bus system. And some of you have seen this already helping a little bit at bus stops, where our transit security is doing much more than they used to. But now we're going to have not only bus stops, but on the bus. So I do believe we're going in the right direction on this way. And we believe in the next 90 days, we're going to begin to see a difference, both on retail theft and on transit safety. So with that, let's hear more about this from Deputy Chief Smathers. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everybody. APD is aware that there are quite a few individuals that are running from stores after they've committed a crime, running right over to a transit center or a bus stop and getting on the buses. We're also aware of other safety concerns for the riders and for the drivers, and that's very meaningful to us. APD is looking at long-term ways to curb those incidents on buses and at bus stops that make folks feel unsafe. We regularly meet with the City Transit Department and City Security to identify issues and routes, and that has been very fruitful so far, and that work is ongoing. As the mayor mentioned, we're working on standing up what we are calling the Transit Safety Division, which will be that 25-person unit that is going to be tasked with being on the transit lines at transit stops to add to safety and to impact criminal activity. Directly for this summer, we're conducting a 90-day tactical operation to impact crime and to provide some immediate relief. And that's multifaceted. We're providing overtime for our real-time crime center so we can monitor live feeds from the buses and take action when we see an incident that needs a response. The real-time crime center is also providing data and reports of crime to us so we can better map out and understand the routes, the bus stops, and the locations where we need to produce and put more resources. Our crisis intervention team is working with ACS to identify individuals that need additional services, because sometimes those folks create instances or create a sense of fear or uncertainty, and so we're wanting to partner with ACS to get those individuals the resources that they do need. We have crime prevention specialists in every area command within the city, and they have been tasked with doing a survey, a crime prevention survey at each bus stop and at each transit location to see if there are physical changes that we can make to those areas to make them more safe and less comfortable for people that might want to commit a criminal offense. And then we have units throughout the city that are regularly on the buses and patrolling the bus stop locations where we have already identified a lot of criminal activity. Now, that TAC plan to date, even though it's in its infancy, it's going to run the entirety of the summer. We've already generated some significant results. We've had over 15 felony arrests so far in this 15-day period. We've had 32 felony warrants cleared. We've had 15 misdemeanor warrants cleared, and we've issued 19 criminal trespass summonses. So that work is still ongoing. It will continue throughout the summer for that immediate relief that I mentioned. I'm going to hand it off to Transit Director Keener for a little additional information, and then you'll hear from Commander Hartsock on Operation Sticky Fingers. Thank you.
Thank you, DC Smathers. Thank you. Good afternoon. So as ridership continues to increase on ABQ Ride, both safety and security on our network continues to be our top priority, and we are working diligently to that cause. So we have heard the concerns from both our passengers and our staff about their experiences on our buses, at our stops, and at our transit centers. So I'm excited. ABQ Ride is looking forward to the opportunity to work even closer with APD to crack down on crime and safety across the entire transit system. ABQ Ride continues to build our relationship with APD, with Metro Security, and with ACS through weekly meetings that we hold in which we not only discuss issues, but we also work together to find solutions to those safety concerns that are being brought to our attention. Through these weekly meetings has come a greater police and security presence on our network, including our buses, stops, and at the Alvarado Transit Center and Uptown Transit Center, which is right down the road here. These are our high traffic transit centers. So moving forward, each APD area command is out riding buses for at least 2 hours each week, as well as helping to monitor ART platforms and respond to calls. Additionally, we have installed 2 cameras at our Uptown Transit Center just down the road here that are tied into the RTCC network, and we'll have the remaining cameras installed very quickly to provide a 360-degree view of the entire facility. That includes the parking lot, as well as the transit platform and the shelters that are on the street side. We're also taking the approach to provide a cleaner system. We believe that this will help create a safer, more secure transit system overall. So our bus stop maintenance crews have begun to repaint shelters and the ART stations at the platforms They've been power washing the concrete, restriping, and adding refreshed decals. And one thing to note is we do have twice that staff of what we had this time last summer, which has really helped out to keep the system much more cleaner. Additionally to that, we've also brought on some contractors. They've been hired to do a midday refresh at our central and Unser transit centers during the hours of 11 and 4 to hit those buses that are approaching and to give them a quick sweep and wipe down so that they are cleaner as they approach the evening hours. And additionally to that, we're contracting staff at Daytona to assist with night cleanup of our vehicles. So ultimately, safety and cleanliness should not be an issue for our drivers or our many passengers. We truly believe that. We want to make sure that these individuals are able to go to work, school, or just enjoy their time within the city. And these efforts, I believe, are a step in the right direction to create a safe, secure, and clean transit network for our city. So with that, I will turn it over to Commander Hartsock.
Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Hartsock. I'm the commander of our Investigative Enhancement Division. Just over a month ago, we started Operation Sticky Fingers, which was designed to bring marked patrol units and undercover detectives into Albuquerque's busiest retail areas and have a zero tolerance enforcement on any crime being committed. As a matter of fact, just yesterday evening in this parking lot right here, that parking lot over there in Windrock Mall, the Target, we had multiple detectives and officers out all night long. We're in Uptown every week doing these projects. What works best is the stores are working with us. New Mexico Orca, Arapa, which are both the local retail organizations that comprise tons of local businesses and national retail chains, partner with us. When we arrive, they let us know who's inside their store committing crimes. We wait outside the stores and we take those people to jail. If it's a misdemeanor, we offer them a citation. If they're unhoused individuals, we have ACS come and offer them services if appropriate. The message is clear. If you come to this area or any retail area in Albuquerque, whether it's Montgomery and Eubank, whether it's Cottonwood Mall or Uptown, APD could be waiting in the parking lot for you the second you walk out of the store. Just in the Uptown area in the past month, we've arrested or cited over 45 individuals that were committing crimes, property related, in this area. Recovered over $15,000 worth of merchandise from those 45 arrests. And we're not going to let up. We're only building up this response. We're going to be out here for the indeterminable future until this problem is more under control. Thank you.
Do we have any questions?
You guys mentioned polls. We've seen a trend in Nob Hill and other small areas where small businesses where this initiative is a little too late. They've closed because of crime that has been committed, vandalism. What do you say to those small businesses that have closed, that have been around for 30 plus years, that had to...
So recently, just this week, was a great question. We actually put out a registration form for all of our local retail businesses, not just Kohl's, all of them, including the Nob Hill area. And I already have several Nob Hill businesses that have signed up. We're asking for their general manager information and if they have loss prevention, their contact information. Because again, this operation is going to move around the city. We value those local small businesses as much as we value the big box stores. For the ones that closed, it's unfortunate. There's lots of factors that go into it. We don't want anybody to close because of thievery that's going on. But like I said, we're going to continue to be aggressive. It's not just Uptown, it's all around Albuquerque.
Mr. Mayor, do you think these added cameras would actually deter people? I mean, we've seen security guards in stores and people walk out with $1,000 worth of merchandise that hasn't happened before. So could you explain why you think these cameras may help deter what is already happening?
Yeah, and actually APD can add on to this, but the difference now is the combination of cameras and the new law that's coming into effect. Because those cameras are fundamentally evidence. And the new law is all about understanding how individuals are targeting these stores in essentially organized crime fashion. And so now we're able to pair those cameras with actual teeth in the law. Before we were missing that teeth. That's one factor. The other thing is, unfortunately, is the quality of the cameras. We're seeing this citywide where, you know, the grainy photo of someone with like a ball cap walking out with someone is not helpful. These cameras are different. These are cameras where we can actually zoom in, we have much higher resolution, and then we're connecting them to other cameras. For example, if they get in a car, we'll catch that license plate, and then we can actually track people. So it is all about sort of that pre-prosecution approach to crime fighting. And this is where that new law is really gonna add a lot of extra teeth. Anything else you wanna add?
Yeah, it's a good point. The new law actually went into effect about a week ago. So now if you are shoplifting, we can now add up all those small offenses over a 90-day period, put them all together, and now the penalties have increased. That's the new law that's hit. The new law's done other things as well, but the AG's office and the DA's office are both already working with the Albuquerque Police Department to have our tracking systems. As offenders are caught and identified doing maybe lots of small offenses, you can expect ideally in the next 30 or 60 days, you're gonna start to see those felony charges get dropped on those individuals.
Thank you guys.